Hello everyone, welcome to lesson 2 of our chess lessons based on the Dutch method. Let me just clear some room. Okay, small postscript from last lesson. Some of you might ask, how do you know the coordinates? Not every board has the letters and numbers. Simply from white side, starting from left to right, it goes A to H, bottom to top goes 1 to 8. I wasn't sure if I was clear about that in the last video, so just adding that on. Now, we're gonna institute communications code for the letters to make it simple, like B, G, sound B, G, C, D, E, it sounds a little similar, you know. So therefore, we are, one second, A will be Alpha, B, Bravo, C, Charlie, D, Delta, E, Echo, F, Foxtrot, G, Golf, H, Hotel. The numbers will stay the same for now. And here goes lesson 2, coming up. In this lesson, we will be learning how the pieces move. We will start with the easy pieces, move on to the more challenging pieces. Do you remember what this piece is called? If you said the rook, you got it right. The rook can move up, down, and sideways, any direction, any amount of squares. Hold on one second. Hold on. It goes forwards, backwards, sideways, as many or as little squares as you decide to move it. We will put down black Othello pieces to mark where this rook on Echo 4 could move. I'll put the camera down while I put the pieces down. And here we are. There you see the rook can move any of these squares, these, or these. The rook is a unique piece that no matter where it is, as long as there's nothing in the way, it can move to a total of 14 squares. Count them if you wish. Hold on. As you see here, the rook on A1 can also move to 14 squares. Next piece will be Introducing one second. The bishop. The bishop moves diagonally. Diagonals, if you remember from the last lesson, means the corners of the squares touch each other. It could go as many squares that are not blocked. It could go to here, or it could go, for example, to here. We will now mark off all the squares that this bishop on delta 5 could move to. This bishop can move to any of these squares for a total of 13 squares. Every side has 2 bishops, one for each color square. As you could see, the bishop on the light color can never go to the square of the dark color. It's simply impossible. So each side has 1 bishop for each of the color square. The bishop in the corner cannot move to as many squares. Let's put the bishop on the corner and see how many squares it could move to. Here we have 13. What about the corner? As you could see, bishop in the corner can only move to 7 squares. Hold on. Next up, we introduced it already, but now we show how it moves. The most powerful piece, and that is the queen. The queen can move like a rook or a bishop, meaning it could go diagonally, forwards, backwards, and sideways. As many moves, or as short or as little moves as it wants to. That makes the queen a very powerful piece. So that's the one of the... Never mind. Okay, so here, as you see, look how many squares the queen can move to from the center of the board. The queen is the most powerful piece. We're looking at being able to move to 27 squares. That's 27 out of 64, almost half the board. Even in the corner, suppose nothing's blocking it, the queen could still control hold on. All these squares, which is a total of 21 squares. The queen is the strongest piece. Next piece is the most complicated piece to learn. And you guessed it, it's the... hold on. The one and only... the knight. The knight does not move like any other piece. How does the knight move? The knight moves. Give me a second. One straight, any direction, forwards, backwards, and sideways. Let's say here. Then one diagonally out. Let's say to here or here. So the knight here, let's say we can move to straight here, diagonally either here or here. Now we go set up all the positions the knight can move. Okay, hold on. Hold on, give me a second. So as you see, the knight can move to any of these 8 squares. Straight diagonally this way, straight diagonally, one straight, one diagonal, one straight, one diagonal, one straight, one diagonal, etc. v'chulu. In the corner, the knight can only move to 2 squares. Hold on. Dun 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 dun. The knight is also the only piece to be able to jump over other pieces. For example, this knight can move to delta 3. Last piece to learn for this lesson is the king. The king simply moves 1 square in any direction. So in the middle of the board, as a total of 8 squares to move to. See? On the edge. Only 5. And in the corner, only 3. The king is the most important piece in the game. Now you'll ask me, what about the pawns? Aren't they simple? Some people teach the pawn first. We're going to have the separate lesson just for the pawn, because it's actually quite a complicated piece with many different rules. As you see, some pieces are faster, some are slower. Let's say we put an Othello piece over here. Let's clear the board. How long will it take for a piece to eat up that piece? Eating up the piece would involve one of our pieces going onto that square, also called capturing. If we have a rook anywhere on the board, it only takes 2 moves. Let's say we go here and then here. Or a bishop. Of course, it must be the right color, same color as a square. Also, no more than 2 moves. 1, 2. But a knight is a slower piece. It would have to take more than 1 move, as you see. Try setting up your own positions to practice. Now, which pieces are better, which pieces are worse? So you probably figured out that the queen is the most powerful piece, could go as many squares. The next is the rook. Not as powerful, but also very powerful. The bishop and knight are both very similar. The knight can move, are both similar value. The bishop can go faster usually, but it cannot go to every single square on the board, whereas the knight could go to every square on the board, although more slower, but the knight could jump, and it can never be blocked. So the general term is, a piece that has more moves is worth more. In part 2 of the lesson, we will show you different mini-games you could play to help you practice the moves of all the pieces. So, I'll see you in the next video.